Blink Twice has been on everybody's radar since its announcement, and it's easy to see why. The moment those hauntingly beautiful trailers dropped, the internet was buzzing with theories and speculation. Its unique premise, a psychological thriller that blurs the lines between reality and illusion, combined with a star-studded cast of rising talents, it made it one of the most anticipated movies of the year. But does this movie live up to the sky-high expectations? Well, let's take a look. Join me today as I dive into the wild world of Blink Twice and see if I can uncover whether it's really the most shocking movie of 2024. Now buckle up, because we're about to explore everything from its jaw-dropping twists to its deeper themes and mind-bending visuals. This movie centers around Slater King, a former tech billionaire played by the very nice-looking Channing Tatum, and Frida, a cocktail waitress played by Naomi Ackie. Now, they first meet at a glitzy fundraising gala, and Slater ends up inviting Frida and her friends to join him and his friends on a private island for a weekend getaway. At first, everything looks like a dream vacation, but then all of a sudden, as the film goes on, strange incidents start to unfold, and the island's paradise quickly turns into a bit of a nightmare. Suspense builds as hidden secrets about Slater King and the island itself come to light. Now, Channing Tatum, he takes on this role of Slater King, a man with a seemingly perfect life, but a questionable past. His portrayal of a complex and this enigmatic character is gripping. Naomi Ackie, she delivers a stellar performance as Frida, and the unsuspecting cocktail waitress ends up entangled in a web of secrets. She is this relatable protagonist, and her journey is what keeps us invested in the story. Now, I wouldn't really call this movie a horror, not at all. However, it is this sort of really trippy, disturbing thing that we start to, especially when we start to learn some of the, the reasons of what's going on here and what some of these men are doing to these innocent girls. One of the standout performances is definitely Channing Tatum, because he is, of course, known for his roles in heroic or comedic films, but in this movie, he diverges in a very big way. I mean, his portrayal of Slater King, a seemingly reformed tech billionaire with dark secrets, is very, very chilling and quite mesmerizing at the same time. I mean, he can play the perfect, very good-looking gentleman and pretty much make anyone just go all giggly when they see him, when they fall for his charms and his good looks. So when we do get to see the other side to him, it is very disturbing to see. And also, like Naomi Ackie, she is also a powerhouse in this film, because her role showcases her ability to transition from a seemingly carefree character to one gripped by horror and suspicion. Her performance is compelling, and she really gives like these badass final girl vibes, especially during, in the third act, during those showdown scenes, alongside, another character. I think her name was Sarah, if I'm not mistaken. But basically, the two of them, they go after all of these disgusting, vile men when they finally realize what these men have been doing to them and what's been happening. And they take no prisoners. And it's really, really powerful to see it unfold on screen, because throughout the movie, the men are pretty much ruling the roost, or at least they think they are. And then as soon as Sarah and Frida get together to kick some ass and show the men who the real badasses are, I was literally cheering and bouncing up and down on the chair. Oh, it was flipping amazing. So it doesn't really take a genius at this stage to work out what was happening to these poor women. They were being drugged in all sorts of different ways, and every night the men on this island, they would do terrible, terrible things to these women. But by the next morning, when the women wake up, they remember nothing. I mean, some of them may have a cut, or somebody might wake up with a bruise, and they'll be like, what the hell? How did I get a bruise? What the hell happened last night? And then one of the men, they would be like, oh, you were so off your face, you were hilarious, you tried to climb a tree and then you fell off. I mean, excuses like that is plausible, especially early on in the film, because we don't really know what's going on. But, you know, once we get to see these guys get properly off their faces and all sorts of things, I mean, the way the film portrays it is actually quite clever, because it's all fun and games at the start of the movie, and there are some pretty hilarious moments when all of these girls are all together and they're off their faces and they're singing and they're doing these crazy dances and these weird sort of like walks in the middle of the night. So, you know, it's painted like they're living their best lives, or at least, as I said, it's appearing. But then as the film goes on and we start learning about X, Y, and Z, that is when things take a very dark and disturbing turn. And there were moments where I felt actually quite sick, especially when we were seeing some of the flashback scenes, which, by the way, I do feel that the filmmakers, they did keep those flashback scenes very brief, and, you know, they weren't glorifying it in any shape or form. We didn't really see any naked scenes or anything like that, so none of those scenes, like, as I said, were glorified in any shape or form, and in a way, that's what made it feel even more disturbing, because it felt more real. It also raises questions in your head about the real life islands that, you know, that certain billionaires have owned. Did they do similar things on these islands? And, you know, the fact that it gets you thinking about those things makes it even more disturbing. Now, of course, movies tend to have some flaws, and I think for me in this one, there were moments in the film that just did drag out a little bit too long. Mainly I'm talking about like the trippy scenes in between when everybody is getting off their faces. You know something dodgy is going on behind the scenes, but it does take us a little while to get there for those wheels to be set in motion. And I feel that could actually put some people off when they're first watching this movie, or at least it risks people turning off the movie before that part of the story, you know, drops for everyone. Now, aside from that, I really did enjoy this movie. It's got a great cast, as I've mentioned, and the story wasn't as predictable as I was expecting it to be, with quite a few surprises thrown in and some twists towards the end, which was really, really nice to see, because there was this moment where Frida is asking, like, how did she get that scar on the side of her head? Pretty early on in the film, she's asked that question, and then later on, you know, we learn that basically we see how she got that scar, and everything sort of like slots together like a jigsaw, and it's very, very cleverly done. At least I thought it was, and I just thought it was awesome. I also just loved how those final two girls got the upper hand in the end. It was like, yes, power to the women. Now, overall, this is a very good, gripping thriller with strong performances. If you are a fan of thrillers that do keep you guessing, then this is one movie you do not want to miss. So, in conclusion, I'm going to give Blink Twice a healthy 7 out of 10. Okay then, guys, well, that's it for today's review. I didn't want to give you too many spoilers, but if you did enjoy this video today, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Let me know in the comments box below if you've seen Blink Twice, and let me know what you thought of it. And yeah, there we are then, guys, that is a wrap. Thank you all for watching today. I will catch you in the next video.